Welcome back guys, I am Daud and you are watching Keto Algo. So today in this video I am going to explain you some bare minimum JavaScript for writing code in the Google Earth engine. So let's first start with the basic JavaScript strings. Suppose first I need to define the variable likes string 1 and then within the single quotation or double quotation you can write your code. Suppose hello there. Okay, so now if I just print this, it will print in the console hello there, right? Now let's print the number within the same variable. I will define the number. Now if I just print the number, you can see the number is printed. You can also write print statement like first define a comment. Suppose the number is followed by the comma and the number is 42. You can store any addition or the subtraction. Suppose let's say 10 plus 12, and if I run this you will get 22. Now I can also store a JavaScript list. So let's see how you can do that. List of strings with the third bracket are like 1, 2, and what I can give, right? Basket, right? And if I just say print the strings and a comma list, and run this, you will see this is printed as a list and the indexing is started from the 0. Now let's define object, JavaScript object, right? Now let's see. Now within the object, let's say suppose I am defining a object of like a boy, right? Let's say suppose the name of the boy is uh, Alex and the age of the boy is 23. No, now he is not boy then. Let's say suppose 12 years old. And also I am defining Alex's the hobbies, right? Let's create a list also then. Now his hobbies are like playing games and coding. Okay, now if I just print the object, let's see boy. Now you can see the object is being created That is, the name is Alex, age is 12, and the hobbies are playing games and the codings. Uh, this is, you can also say this is a dictionary also, right? So if I just print, like if I want to get a property of boy, let's say suppose I can print by this, uh, the name, and then defining the object with the third bracket, and then name, and simply if I run this, the name is Alex, right? And simply you can also do this by, for the age, the age is 12. Okay. And also the are hobbies playing games and the coding, right? So now let's define a function. Let me just remove this all the codes. And now the function, uh, I am defining a function of addition. Okay, so I will write this as a function. Now I will give some parameters like number one, uh, just I will simply give num1 and a num2. That will be better, num2. Okay, and now simply I will just return the summation of two number. And now if I print addition, uh, yeah, the addition, and if I just pass two values, let's say suppose 4 and 5, and run this code, we will get the answer is 9. So now you are comfortable with the JavaScript. So now let's see how you can use the JavaScript objects and the primitives into Earth Engine containers for sending the code to the server and process at the Google. So first I showed you to define the strings. So I showed you, so in case of Google Earth Engine, to send to the server, you can write a string like string 1, and then you have to give first EE, that is EE. Okay, you might have seen during writing the code in Google Earth Engine previously that in some places I write the code started with the EE, and in some places I don't use them. Okay, so I just don't do that intentionally, simply because you need to understand there are two things. One is client function, and another is the object, client function and the object, and another is the server function and the object. Okay, in case of server objects and a function, which is simply Google Earth Engine itself, which is defining the Google Earth Engine itself, the server objects with the constructors that starts with double E are called the server objects. So I am now defining the server objects that will, the codes that will run on the server of the Google Earth. Okay, and the function or the methods that will call in that objects like ee.images, ee.algorithms, ee.classifiers. Let's let me show you. Those are, these are these are called simply the server functions. Okay, and any objects that are not constructed in the manner are simply client objects that I showed you earlier. I define the strings but never use the EE. But in case of that code you cannot directly put into the Google Earth Engine. You have to be define the constructor that is EE for to understand that the Google Earth Engine server can understand that this is the server, this is the string, or this is the number, right? So client object may come from code editor, okay, or the JavaScript itself. You can follow up the MDN docs for more know about the JavaScript. So now just I will simply define the EE dot string. You can see the color has been changed, and you can simply define the string here itself. Suppose the weather, and print this string 1. So this symbol, you can see this symbol indicating that it is running in the Google Earth Engine server itself. And also you can suppose you have written a code normally, suppose string str, simply you can put this, and you can also do this, the same the same output you will get. Okay, so in case of numbers, that will be same. So if I just convert this into the number, so let's do a multiplication, right? Say into, let's take a bigger value 57. Okay, and I just simply put this here, sorry, string there, it should be the number. See, the color has been changed now. This symbol is indicating that the code is running itself in the Google Earth Engine server. Now the answer is the 171. Now I will show you like how you can define the objects also, right? Before object, let's define the lists. So as the same var, uh, I will just define a list, say suppose 1, 2, 3, 4. Before I saw shown you that it will just simply print this list, but now this JavaScript literal, you have to convert this to the ee.list. Okay, so I'll simply do this. Suppose var sequence, the variable name, and ee starts with the constructor list, and just simply pass this here. Now if I run this, see, this is now running in the JavaScript, in the Google Earth Engine itself. Now without doing that, you can do also like in simply a simple way. Let's say suppose I am defining a easy way sequence, and instead of doing that, I can simply do this, take these numbers and put this here. It is also defining as a sequence of list of sequence, whatever. So here you can see, you might be thinking why this kind of output is coming. So I open this, you can see ee.list.sequence. This is, first I have defined one and the end value that is true, and I defined a number of steps that is divided by 3, you can see also. The count, okay, how many counts will be there, this is 4. uh, okay. Also now you can get the values that is being stored here simply by just adding this to get, and by giving the index value, let's say suppose 2, and if I run this, you'll simply get 1.665, that is in the index 2. uh, Now let's see the Google Earth Engine object, or you can also say the the dictionary from a JavaScript object, as with strings, number, and a list. In the construction time, you can use the JavaScript functionality to initialize the Earth Engine object. In this case, dictionary is constructed directly from a JavaScript literal object. So if I just simply say var, again I take the same example, ee dot, now I will define the object using the dictionary. See, okay. Now by same I will define name will be Alex, age will be 13, the Alex grown up by 1 year, and hobbies of the Alex are also changed, likes food, and the coding is remains same. Okay, so now if I just print this, see what happened. Sorry. Yeah, okay. See, now this is processing as a JavaScript in the Google Earth Engine server itself. Now, if you want to get some properties from the object or the dictionary, you can simply use the get function, that is, let's say, dot get, and the name. Now run the Alex. You can also define a method or the function. Let's say suppose multiplication. Okay, that is mm, 5 into 2, and it will give you run. Again same problem, it will give you 10, right? Now I will show you how you can use map in the Google Earth Engine for iterating over each element of a list, instead of using the if-else that you use in the JavaScript for the writing code normally in the JavaScript. So let's see. First, let's define a list. Let's say suppose 1, 2, some random numbers, 7, 9. Okay. Now let's find the square. So find square, then the function and the number that I want to square, and then return the number. Here I will use a JavaScript function, or here you can also use that is POW. Let's suppose 2. Okay, yeah, square, using the 2. Now I will create another define another variable that is result, and I will now define the list, and then dot map. It will iterate over the all the elements of the list, and I will simply pass the method find square. So now if I just print now result, you will see, yeah, now the result displayed 1 4 16 49 and 81. You can also do this using suppose the ee.list and a sequence. As you already remember, this is the start, this is the end. Let's say suppose 3, and I will give the step count suppose for 3, and number of count 4. Okay, now if I run this, it's saying for this right list dot mm, list dot map, I given everything right also. Okay, okay, sorry, this will be the first packet. Run. Yeah, you can see the from the start and the end, 1 square is 1 and the 10 square is 10. I can define suppose 3 the steps and the 4 count. Now what it give the output. Okay, so this is the steps, 3 steps and the count 4. Okay, now in this code you can also use the if else function. Okay, as a logic, you cannot use directly the if else function because that is deferred from the execution. So I will write a code where you will find the all the odd numbers from a list. Okay, so let's see, if I just keep this thing. Okay, now let's define another function, odd numbers, and just write the function keyword and number, and now I will pass this number as a Google Earth Engine object. Sorry, Google Earth Engine number, that is number, so that we can use the another mm, functions or methods in this number also. that is defined in the Google Earth engine. Now simply what I will do, I will just pass the numbers in this, and I will find out the mod value, and if the mod value is 0, I will not include them. Okay, so var remainder is number. Here is a method that is mod. You can find simply mod, and then I will return. Here you cannot use the here you cannot use the if else directly, so you have to use the logic, right? So what I'm doing here, I calculated the remainder for, like, for in case of the even numbers, it will calculate the remainder as a 0, right? And for the odd numbers, it calculate the remainders as a like 1, right? So what I'll do, I will simply do, like, if I just pass the number here, okay, it will be not giving me the right value, because for the even values it will also return the number. So what I can simply do, I will put the number here, and I will multiply this with the remainder. So whatever will be the, so only the odd values will be returned. Okay, so let's see remainder. Okay, so I will just create a new list, well, where I will put this number. So I calculated the result also, so dot map, and then I will pass this function odd number here, and I simply calculated the new list. So if I just print now, print new list, let's see what happened. See, the it includes also the zeros, that is even numbers. So in place of even numbers it became the 0. So 2 square is 0, 4, and here was the, like, 4 square 16, it becomes also 0. But so I want to remove these zeros from the list. So how you can do that? So I can do this by another function, uh, odds. What I will do, simply dot, here is a function that is called remove all. Okay, and now I will pass whatever will the value is 0, I will remove them. Okay, here in the docs tab, under the list, you will find this. Yes. Okay, so now if I just print the odds, see, all the even numbers is erased. Okay, so this is the end of our video. Thank you for watching this.